infrastructure and institutions, a network of both private and public diagnostic and treatment facilities, increasingly in the private sector, with state-of-the-art equipment, deep medical expertise, a growing number of high-caliber medical colleges and research institutions that have begun to attract not only medical tourists seeking high-quality, inexpensive medical treatment in India, but also medical professionals who, in my generation, were leaving the country in droves, often to go to the West, now beginning to return to the country. And what used to be called brain circulation is now being called, brain drain is now being called brain circulation. And the other part of this growth of the sector is also simultaneously the emergence of this older tradition, ancient tradition in India of Ayurveda, the wisdom and medicinal knowledge of which is increasingly being recognized both in India and beyond. And at the center of this fascinating and complex landscape is the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, where Mr. Dinesh Trivedi is the Minister of State. He is one of our young, gifted, and highly educated parliamentarians. His election to the Lok Sabha, which is the lower house of the parliament, was a matter of huge media attention because he unseated, rather convincingly, a 20-year incumbent of that constituency, Barakpur. He comes from West Bengal, grew up mostly in Calcutta, educated mostly in the city, received a bachelor's degree from the prestigious St. Xavier's College in Kolkata. He also subsequently received an MBA from the University of Texas, Austin. And the two of us were trying to think of whether there are any other parliamentarians and certainly ministers who may have advanced degrees like an MBA, and we couldn't think of any. So he might be the only MBA in the Indian Union government.
Which come from?
Sachin Pilot.
Sachin Pilot is our.
What's his portfolio now? I have not.
Oh, no,
Telecom.
He's just a member of parliament.
Yeah, he's not a minister, so that still stands.
He's a voter.
Yeah, Sachin Pilot is another, he's a Wharton MBA who's now, he's been for a while a member of the Indian Parliament. But let me not digress. Please join me in giving a warm Wharton welcome to Mr. Dinesh Trivedi.
This is on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm okay? Can you see me? No, I'm really excited to be out here. And when you compare Austin with Wharton, not much of comparison. Austin is far ahead. I'm sure you'll agree. Nevertheless, in fact, it's a great honor to be here. And I always wanted to visit. And I don't know if I had not gotten admission into UT Austin, this would have been, I don't want to degrade, I don't want to run down, but this would have been not my second choice, but as equal choice as Austin. But no, I'm really thankful to Ria, and thank you, Professor Jain, for introducing me. I've had a great innings in America. And as Professor Jain just mentioned, that I am perhaps the only MBA from United States in the ministerial portfolio. So whatever I do, blame it to the American system. I don't take any responsibility for that. What we are going to do out here, and I mentioned to Ria and Mr. Jain, that let's make this session a little more interactive, a little more exciting, and a little more meaningful. So rather than my standing here and rattling numbers and figures, and I hate to do that. Unless and until we get ourselves involved, some of the people will go to sleep and we'll not even realize till we hear the snoring. So we don't want to do that. Let me just introduce as far as India is concerned. I'm sure I can see quite a few faces here of Indian origin, and most of the places, universities I go, there is a competition between the Indians and the Chinese, whose number is greater between the two. So they say, oh, this year, this fall, we have more Chinese than Indians, that sort of a thing. My son is studying here at Purdue. He is doing his aerospace, and he wants to be astronaut. One of the things which I have been interested was flying. I had started my career as a pilot, and I wanted to join the Air Force and fly a plane. But instead of that, I'm trying to navigate the country's future, and I hope it doesn't crash land somewhere and it goes well. India, at the moment, we are in an exciting time. I was the chairman of Indo-EU Parliamentarians Forum. So every now and then I used to go to Brussels, and I used to address the parliamentarians there. And in one such interaction, one of the MPs from EU stood up and asked me that, tell me, what has changed in India? Everybody is talking about India, China. What is it? Can you please tell me what has substantially changed in India? So I thought for a while, and I said, honestly, nothing has changed in India. So he was taken aback. I said, yes, nothing has changed in India. India has been a country of knowledge for thousands of years, and India remains a country of knowledge. And it will always be known as a country of knowledge, so nothing has changed as far as India is concerned. Although what has changed is your attitude towards India. Because now this knowledge can be transacted. You can cash on the knowledge. Earlier our philosophy was to spread the knowledge free. Now this knowledge has a price tag. The intellectual property right, the trips and the trims and the works. And the raw material of this knowledge you still find in India. Yeah, quite a few of them like Ria and Mr. Jain have stayed back here. So part of the knowledge has come from there. But this knowledge, raw material is in India, and so is the market. So there are a lot of people who want to encash and who can really make money out of this knowledge industry. And that is why, not from the arrogance point of view, but from the factual point of view, that nothing has changed as far as India is concerned. It still remains the country of knowledge. The reason I am emphasizing as far as knowledge is concerned, because today we are in the era of knowledge. Whether it is information technology, whether it is the moon science. Incidentally, who had thought that India would send a multi-vehicle to the moon? Nobody had really thought. It's still 3 days back, who thought that President Obama will get the Nobel Prize for Peace? In fact, he also didn't think, and he was also quite taken aback. So India is in such a position where it's evolving, and that knowledge is coming to the fore. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, since I understand quite a few people are here with the health background. So I'll tell you a little bit about health, and then we will have the class open, and you are open for any questions. Any question means any question. You can ask me how many girlfriends I have, how many affairs I have, anything you can ask. I don't promise the correct answers, but I'll try. I was just telling before I came in here, we were having a little discussion, and I said the world's oldest democracy, which is the United States, and the world's largest democracy, which is India. Both these countries, one country, that is America, spends about 60% of GDP, on health, on healthcare.